congratulations on season 4. How does it feel? Like, when you pitched the show to Carlos, did you ever imagine that you guys were going to make it to season 4, yet alone for it to be such a big deal?
I don't think that I necessarily had an idea in mind in terms of how long the show would last, but I know me and I know my work ethic and my grind. So the fact that it is still going, it is still successful, I'm not surprised, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I do something, I like to put my all into it and try to make sure, that it's successful. And I love to, as much as I can, help other people, do the things they desire to do, whether that's putting their business out there, reaching their goals. I love to open up the doors for others too.
You definitely do that. Your team speaks highly of you. I follow a couple of them on the page.
Oh, yay.
They do. And then also another congratulations. Your new single came out last week, I believe, right?
Yes.
You were #1. Like, your fans do not play when it comes to...
They did not. They did not. I tell people all the time, numbers don't lie. You can't look. The numbers don't lie, honey. So to all the supporters, thank you guys so much. You guys have been amazing. Really, even last year, it was almost right at a year when I dropped my first single, Telltale Signs. And again, we were charting, I think we got to maybe #3. So They have been showing tremendous support, since the beginning, and now Down actually made it up to #1. And so I think at the end of the day, it shows, the love is real. And I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we love your hustle, and your work ethic is like uncomparable. So speaking of the song, who would you like to collaborate with? Like, do you have like a dream artist that you want to work with?
I don't have necessarily a dream artist that I would love to work with, but some people that I can tell you I admire and I enjoy are, of course, Mary J, Beyonce. I actually like Cardi B. I like T.I. And I actually like Rich Homie Quan. So, you just never know. You just never know. Never know.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So, hey, open yourself up. The universe and God has a way of like connecting to the right people. Absolutely. And congratulations on your skincare line. Look what came today. I got the whole bundle.
Yay! Oh my gosh, awesome. I love it. I love it. That's what's up. I got on my 7th Avenue shirt too.
Yes.
The support with that has been amazing as well. When I say everyone flooded the website last weekend, Saturday, it was crazy. But the love and support has been great. It's a skincare line that I'm very passionate about. I was able to work, with a Black female chemist, and who's based right here. And so she and I have been working on this for quite some time, and just finally getting it out there to the consumer. I knew there were certain things I wanted. I knew I wanted it to be paraben-free, natural, clean, vegan, all of that good stuff. And so we were able to make it happen while also using some of the things that my great grandmother taught me to use to combat pityriasis rosacea. So it's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. I take it one day at a time, and I come up with different ways to market and to do certain things, and I just run with it.
Is this a rebrand of Embrace? I believe it was okay.
Yeah, it is. It is a rebrand. And so, that was I'll be honest. So any of you out there who are, looking to start a business or started one that didn't quite go the way you wanted it to go, don't be afraid to start over. Do not be afraid to start over. Don't let negativity come across you in a way, or your mind in a way, to make you feel like you should give up. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, go for it, period. Doesn't matter how many setbacks. I say all the time, delayed does not mean denied. So if you have, a vision that God has given you, stay on the course and stay true to that. And it'll come to pass whenever it's supposed to. So literally, I was at lunch one day with one of my homegirls, and my friend Dwayne, actually, we've been friends. She owns Pros and Pens, which is a content writing company. And we've been friends for about 14, 15 years. And we were having lunch, and out of the blue, I said, I'm naming my skincare line 7th Avenue Premier Skincare. And
I was just going to ask you, like, what was the inspiration behind the name?
Yeah, she was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah. And it hit me that day in my spirit, and I ran with it from there. I actually grew up on 7th Avenue. So for me as a young girl, that's where I learned the importance of, I had my babysitter and her children next door that I called aunts, but really, weren't aunts and
Yeah.
all. Then I had, just neighbors and family. And it was kind of one of those things where I learned there on 7th Avenue the importance as a young girl of taking care of myself, them teaching me, my mom and everyone, who loved me, teaching me the importance of taking care of my skin, taking care of my body as a young girl. And so 7th Avenue for me embodies all of that and all of that teaching and the importance of taking care of yourself.
Amazing. One thing that obviously we met you 3 years ago, or almost 4 years ago now that you guys are in season 4. You definitely have talked about the journey of entrepreneurship. Even I believe season 1, you talked about how you and Martell started a business, the cleaning and the lawn service business, I believe. Yeah. So I know now, like, a lot of people are seeing like this huge growth and success within your business, but like, you've been doing this back then, like experimenting, trying, see what works. So I think that speaks to you saying like, this ain't easy, but you just have to keep going.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, and then I have a master class with Melody. I've had about 400. Usually my class has anywhere from 30 to, I've had as many as 90 students in one class, but I've had over 400 students, close to 5 now to date since June of 2020 that have come through my course. And I tell them in that all the time, when I got into property preservation, my ideal wasn't having to go in and clean these filthy homes and, sometimes poop is all over the toilet and they're super dirty and all of that. However, getting in there, working, doing what needed to be done to set me up to get to the financial status that I wanted to get, to open other doors for me, was what it took and what I did. So it's not necessarily you come out getting a pretty job, so to speak, at first, right? You have to do what you have to do. Yes, I was out there cutting the grass, pushing moors, riding moors, learn how to do a zero turn, blowing the leaves and raking and doing all this stuff. So I put in years of hard work, dedication, grinding, and then to be the one to do the admin after the end of the day of the work. So my work ethic hasn't changed. I've always been this way, even since I was a kid. Honestly, I've always just had strong work ethic, always involved in a lot of things, enjoyed doing a lot of things at one time, and I'm still that person.
Yes, I think it speaks to when opportunity meets your work. A lot of times, a lot of people are not prepared to meet the opportunity that's in front of them because they haven't done the work to meet them at that level. So I think that absolutely speaks to who you are.
Yeah.
So season 1, when we met you, you were going through such a challenging space in your life. You were navigating your being a parent, a business owner, infidelity in your marriage, friendships, and living in a community as an affluent that you are, like pouring into other women. And over the last 3 years, we have seen you go through such a roller coaster of emotions and challenging life experiences. And I believe that in life, when you're going through such challenging times, it requires you to really sit still and listen to what God has to say to you. Because a lot of times we try to run away from our problems. And I noticed from watching your social media, but also witnessing a lot of the interviews that you have done, like, we're meeting like a new version of Melody, elevated version of Melody. And how has it been for you to kind of like sit still and work on yourself?
All right. So in all honesty, well, I'm gonna keep it 100, period. At first it was very hard. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I wasn't here for it. I often post about a customized healing journey is where it's at. So as myself and those close to me started putting together my customized healing path and journey, part of that being me sitting alone by myself, and I wasn't here for it. I would tell anyone I've spent the most time alone than I have my whole life this past year. And I naturally love people. So I get in a room with people and my energy goes sky high, and I don't know, I love being around people. So having to sit by myself to deal with the things that I needed to deal with, to face the things I needed to face, and to continue the healing journey that I was on. At first, it was a no-go for me. Today, I understand why.
What was your resistance to the healing journey initially? Like, why did you resist it?
Because I didn't want to be sitting by myself. I'm just saying. Because I didn't want to be sitting by myself. Like, say what, girl? Let me tell you. But listen, after a while, I got used to it and I fell in love with me again. I did. I fell in love with me again, and I realized, man, I'm pretty doggone dope. You know, like I'm pretty cool. You know, I fell in love with me again, and so I would be here by myself, and I would laugh at my little corny thoughts and just be like, thinking, girl, you so crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like just loving me, taking vacations by myself.
Yeah.
And embracing that and embracing just loving on me and getting to know me again. So, yeah. I did it, girl. I had to put the work in. You know, I tell anybody, you don't put in the work, honey, don't expect any results.
No, and if anyone has gone through any type of healing journey, and it doesn't have to be a divorce, like it really can be anything that in your life that you have experienced. It's so messy. It's so ugly. It requires... the hardest part is it requires you to face yourself, right? It's just like, because no one else is around you. Like you're choosing to heal, so you have to face yourself in order to heal. Absolutely. And like, so you meeting the new Melody, what was that like? Like, what new values did you learn about yourself? Like, what type of life did you want to create for yourself in this new space?
So definitely a life of peace. A life of happiness. I had many years of roller coaster rides emotionally and mentally. So being stable in that department, even if that meant being alone, and just really trusting my intuition more as well. So I guess you would say believing and trusting in me more than I believe and trust in someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's powerful. Believing and trusting myself more than I trust in myself. Because you got married pretty early. So, like, I feel like your 30s now, you're like rediscovering the new Melody and trusting yourself.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I got married at 22 and now I'm 36. So, yeah, for sure. You know, because the fact of the matter is, and to the ladies who are on here, the fact of the matter is sometimes when you're in relationships or marriages, you know, it can get to the point to where you are you believe so much in your spouse or the person that you're with that you will second guess and question yourself and your intuition. And so me spending time alone and allowing God to reveal certain things to me. So I say all the time, isolation brings revelation. So me allowing God to reveal certain things to me in the spirit and then seeing those things happen, it put my intuition on another level, caused me now to move and operate how I move when it comes to protecting my space and protecting my peace.
Ooh, what would you call this season of your life right now, if you have to name it?
If I was the season of elevation. Yep. That's what I would say.
Have the people in your life or the people who've been in your life have met the new Melody? Like, has that created like conflict or like resistance?
I think the people in my life, you know, who've been around for a very long time, they're super happy to see me in this place, you know, to see me in this place where I'm happy. They see that, they feel it. You know, everyone doesn't get to be around you, but those that are around me, that get to be around me, they feel it, they see it. And so they're just excited to see me come out of something that could have literally broken me. Even after I left, everything that transpired that still could have broken me. And them seeing me continue to stand and be strong and now be in a place where I am happy, even alone. They're just happy for me.
I love that. I love that. It's nothing like the people that love you the most see you like heal and evolve to the person that they always knew that you were gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh, someone is asking, are you planning on like expanding your skincare line like to stores? Like, what is the plan? I meant to ask you that earlier.
Very good question. So I actually have already had a few people reach out to me in regards to going into retail, going into stores. For me, what I want to do right now, and you know, after especially having good conversation with my homegirl Stormy, I don't really want to do that. Really, what she said kind of gave confirmation to what I was feeling. I don't want to go into retail right now. I do want to stay doing just e-commerce for a while, but eventually, long-term plan, goal, absolutely. Probably shorter than longer, but not too short. But I do want to do e-commerce first for a while. So if any of you out there, if you have businesses or products, anything that you're trying to sell, you know, I would say just be strategic about how you move, be strategic in your growth, because sometimes people will try to push you. And by the time they get you out there in that ocean, honey, and leave you out there, you can't even swim. You can't even swim, honey, trying to find your way back to shore. So take your time, do things in a way that you feel like you need to do it. Just be very strategic about growing.
That is so true. You got to do it on your own time and how you feel comfortable. So switching gears a little bit, and I think this kind of ties to the season. Last season, the most heartbreaking scene that I teared up was when you and Martell were having a conversation with your kids about the co-parenting and the divorce and being able to create the new normal that you all have to live to, have to kind of like adjust to. And recently you went live and you talked about the kiddos being in therapy and having conversation. I think you did, if it was live. How are they doing, and what type of conversation are you having with them as far as like what's going on?
So, you know, it's a process for everyone. It's a process for everyone. It's not an overnight journey. I think we've become such a microwavable generation. We think everything happens overnight, and it does not. And it's a journey. So for me, part of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that my children had a strong support system, a strong village, meaning people that they feel safe and comfortable talking to. Because I don't want to, or I will say I refuse to, because of the neglect on my part as a parent, end up with adults who don't know how to manage emotions, don't know how to manage feelings, who have all this trauma. So they've gone into relationships and marriages with all this trauma, childhood trauma, and it's causing issues in their adulthood. So I'm doing my part as a parent to make sure I'm giving them the best that I can as it pertains to, you know, them being understanding what's happening, but also knowing that they can express themselves, share their feelings, and have a safe place to be able to do that. I have conversations with my children all the time. Like, for example, when I made the decision to change my last name, I had a conversation with them, and I went through the process of explaining to them, hey, so when people get married, you know, this is what happens. The lady's last name becomes the husband's, and you know, unfortunately, though, sometimes like mom and dad, sometimes marriages don't last. So guess what? She gets to decide if she wants to go back to the last name she had before she was married, you know? And so just having those real, like sometimes, I don't know, especially I think, you know, we try to avoid certain conversations.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that's a good thing. You know, talk to your children. Talk to your children. We're so used to be quiet. Don't ask me nothing. Just do what I said because I said it. No, like I spend a lot of time talking and teaching my children as it pertains to life in general.
Wow, that's beautiful. And they seem so receptive of like, and they're very smart. The questions they were to ask, so I think they seem like they're in a good hand. Guys, I'm gonna ask the questions. We're building up to this upcoming season. They're like screaming at me in the comments.
Oh my gosh. Listen, let me tell you something. It's so interesting because I say all the time, people's patience these days is off the chain, honey. They be trying. Listen, who was that? I was live recently and somebody did something. I can't remember. Somebody did something. But anyway, long story short, the people were trying to go hard. Oh, they couldn't get their Instagram to act right. And they were trying to go hard. And I was like, look, y'all, just chill. Like, we ain't got to be on the edge on 20 all the time. Just chill. He going to figure it out. Give him a minute. Yeah. So y'all her a break. She gonna get to the questions.
I am. And you know, like last week is when I started doing this whole, literally my introduction to Instagram Live was last week when I went live on this big stage. So I'm learning. Give me a little bit of grace, you guys. I'm having a conversation, trying to be present in the conversation with Mel, but I'm also going through the questions. That's why I keep looking down. So.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's talk about this upcoming season. I had the opportunity to talk to Carlos last week, and he just like, you are not ready for this upcoming season. He was like, it's like nothing we have ever seen before. And we got to watch 2 episodes at this point, and it does feel different. Like this time around, there's so much story being told from like every person's perspective. And it looks like you guys also picked up this season right after the reunion aired. So I'm sensing like emotions were high, and also a lot of things happened at the reunion, during the reunion and after the reunion. And I'm seeing various dynamics of the different friendship groups and marriages even experiencing, I think, topics that we haven't really talked about before. And for the first episode that we see that 2 perspectives of stories being told from 2 perspectives. So talking about you and Destiny's and Letitia's friendship. In the first episode, we saw Destiny and Tisha talk about what happened at the after the reunion when they were in the hotel room, and you overhearing their conversation. From their perspective, it seems like they were just talking about what happened during the reunion when Destiny wasn't there. And then we see the conversation you and Kimmy having, and it feels different because you mentioned that Destiny had came to you and apologized based on what was said. So what happened in that conversation? Like, what did you hear? Because if I was just listening to your perspective, it's so different. And then if I was listening to just their perspective, it's so different. And how do we get to the space of...
Sure. So as you will see, as this season goes on, it wasn't just this conversation that caused me to make the decisions that I have made. It wasn't just one thing. It was a series of things, which again is discussed, as y'all see, as the season goes on. So it's twofold. One, the first thing that occurred at the reunion was, as we were all on the stage, I really was taken aback a little bit by Letitia's comments and Destiny's stance on the stage. First, you know, there was the incident where Letitia was just like, she was doing smirking and stuff while Destiny and I were talking. And so, you know, it's like, girl, I'm not talking to you. Like, so, you know, and she's like, well, I just don't feel like, so finally I called her out on her smirking, and she was like, I wasn't smirking. And Carlos was like, Letitia, what is? And she was like, well, I just don't think Mel is a good friend. And so it was kind of like, okay. So that, along with her saying, you know, this girl tried to destroy my marriage, and she said it with so much emotion, when the truth be told, if people go back and watch it, I'm not the one who actually, the person they cool with right now, the person that came out and started talking about 20 women, it was not me. It was my ex that did that. So it's very interesting. And then after that, there was a conversation where I was asked, and I'm like, figure it out for yourself. And then it went from there. So long story short, that was the part first with Letitia, and then with Destiny on the stage. That was the first time when Carlos asked her, you know, so how's y'all's friendship? Like, when she walked out on the stage, I was like, yes, you know, I was hyping her up. I was happy. She looked really cute. And I didn't have an issue with her. So when Carlos asked her that, for her to say, well, I don't know where our friendship lies. I hadn't spoken to her or talked to her, whatever she said, since we wrapped. So it was like, no, we have. Yeah, we have. And she's like, no. So for me in that moment, knowing that I had pulled back some, had nothing personally to do with her, but I pulled back from everything and everybody because filming is very stressful. I think probably my personal life has been the height of every season since the inception of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I do have to take a mental break. My mental break didn't include me not talking to Destiny at all. I texted her. I'd invited her out to brunch. I texted and checked on her. She sent me a picture. You know, she was on vacation, a video. She was on vacation, enjoying herself, so she couldn't go to brunch. So for her to say that, it just kind of threw me. You know, so then it makes me feel, okay, so what are we trying to do here? You know, because unfortunately, I think people like to try to have an issue with me because they feel like if I have an issue with Mel, then I become more relevant. You know what I'm saying? So it just threw me. And then after that, so this whole reunion happens. After that, I actually didn't know that my room was next to Destiny's. I didn't know that. I had my team there, so I was busy ripping, running, doing stuff, getting ready for the reunion. And I overhear Tisha say, which means you were loud, through my room. I'm in my room packing my stuff to leave. And I hear she's like, yeah, because Mel is a Scorpio. And I was like, who over there? Wait a minute. Wait, what? You know, I was shocked.
What did that mean? I didn't understand that. Like, what did that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to ask them. Okay. What all their conversation entailed, I cannot tell you.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter to me. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't even matter to me. What matters to me is that initially, because I went and knocked on their door. You know, I was like, y'all might want to lower your voice because your conversation can be heard down the hallway.
What was the reaction when you said that? Like, how did they react?
Well, they were like, oh, what you hear us talking about your crazy ex-husband? That's what Destiny said. And I said, well, I heard the conversation from the Rudy to the Tootie. That's what I said. And so after that, you know, ended up corresponding and texting. And she was like, you know, I don't know what you thought you heard. I don't know what's going on, da, 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 da. But then when we got back to Huntsville, so we scheduled to sit down and meet. So when we got back to Huntsville, her exact words while we were eating, her exact words were, well, I'm not going to lie, you know, I was talking a little shit about you, but I was in my feelings. You know, she was like, I was kind of my feelings. I said, well, look, this is my thing. I said, you talking in any shape, form, or fashion, negatively venting to someone that I really ain't that cool with, we trying to rebuild something. I don't know how I really feel about that. So after that, I was hoping that I could get over it. Like, I still was trying to move forward, texting her, talking to her here and there, you know, like hoping. But then the more I thought about it, you know how sometimes you have a conversation and later on you get to thinking and you like, I should have said, no, I shouldn't. You know what I mean? It was one of those moments. It was like, okay, so the more I thought about it after that, I was like, coupled with the other things, I was like, nah, this ain't good for me. This, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was, you know, that's what it was. And that's how it happened. I have no question, ain't no doubt. And that's why my stance is what it is.
Someone just asked, like, was your sit down conversation filmed? Was that like a girlfriend chat that you two had?
No, this was no cameras were here at all. It was like maybe within a week, maybe after the reunion.
Did you ask her why she was feeling some type of way? That's why she.
Well, I know why she. So let me say this. I don't know if we discussed why she was feeling some kind of way at that moment. We probably did. But she already expressed at the reunion why she was feeling how about our friendship, which was because she felt like she wasn't really getting as much from me as she had been getting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. And this is how I feel about it. That's fine. Like, people start feeling certain ways all the time. But I think that even if you're venting, there are just certain people that I wouldn't even vent. If there was something going on with she and I that I wouldn't vent about, like my pajama party, everybody was asking about Tisha and Destiny, why they weren't here. You know why? Because I hadn't already gone to them and shared with them what had gone on. Because to me, it really wasn't nobody's business, to be honest. It really wasn't. Mm-hmm. I don't roll like that for real. Like, if me and you have a falling out, have an issue, I'm not going to run to everybody just to talk about our fallout. Somebody asks me, I'll give an honest answer. And then even then, it's still going to be a little surface. Mm-hmm. I'll go into the details with that person. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what it was. That's kind of what it was for me.
I really thought last season you and Tisha were in a better place.
I did too.
Better than I think I have witnessed the last 2 seasons. So what do you think happened during this season for her to have the reaction like you said she did?
I can't tell you. I have no idea. That's what I'm telling you. on the reunion stage, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely shocked. You know, let me be very frank. I'm very straightforward, very like if I'm cool with you, if I'm kicking it with you, you'll know. And if I'm not, you'll know. So last season when I was, you know, I invited her to my home a couple of times. Yes, it was filmed, but guess what? I could have said, no, she can't come to my home. We're gonna have to meet out. I also, you know, I invited her to all of them to my video premiere party. I even took my team to Black after my video release party last season. We could have gone anywhere in Huntsville. Took them to Black. I supported and sponsored the Destiny race. These are things that I was genuinely doing. Yeah. I've been to Black even multiple times outside of, you know, going there after my video premiere party, showing support. Hitting Tisha up, hey girl, I want to come through. You think I can get a section tonight? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So the reunion and the energy was different. I didn't understand. It was different for her, from her and from Destiny on the stage. Both of them kind of hit me like boom, boom, you know. So then I hit a boom, 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 boom.
I'm laughing at the boom, boom. I'm not laughing. I'm just like,
I gotta give you something funny, girl. But I gotta give you something funny to laugh about.
So when in the conversation with Tisha and Destiny, Destiny did mention that you called Tisha the enemy, or yeah, I think it was the enemy. Did you call her the enemy?
I ain't gonna lie, girl. I don't remember if I called her. I know I definitely said something about an op. And I don't know if I said the term enemy. I ain't even about to play. We'll see. I don't remember.
No.
I may have, but look, I may have. I don't know. I may not have. I'm going to keep it 100. I don't remember. I know I said talking about me with an op. I don't know if I said enemy, but girl, we'll all see.
Is there any hope, like, for your friendship between you and Tisha? Or is it, because I know, Carlos, so you guys are still filming. So I know you guys are still, but is there any hope? Is there any opening for a conversation?
No. I don't have a desire. I've never had this many sit downs with any of my friends in my whole life as I've had to have with Letitia. So I'm kind of good on that. And as you guys will see, you know, I know you guys see the whole brawl almost or whatever that happens. And yeah, that started with, again, back to that whole energy thing. You imagine walking into a place being excited. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. And you got this person who don't even speak, very rude, and then they're like, who talking about me? It's just, no, I'm good. Nope. No, thank you. I'm good.
And what about you and Destiny? I see that she's been like reposting or liking a lot of your skincare, your music.
It's very interesting to me, to be honest with you. What's interesting is sometimes I feel like, you know, sometimes I feel like my intuition be so crazy and on point that it's almost, I ain't gonna say it's a curse because it's not that by any means, but it's very interesting. So what I will say is, somebody DM'd me, you know, where she shared my song or whatever. My phone number works, and I didn't get a text from her to say, hey, congrats, the song is great. So there's a difference between doing things for the gram and doing things in real life. So I see through all that. And I think that's some of the issues people have with me is I don't play them little fake games, you know? And in terms, even the skincare, she ordered that just a few days before her interview with you. Where she made sure to say that she ordered it. Yeah, you know, girl.
Got you.
Just about, I think like 3 days before the interview with you.
Got you. Got
you. February 19th. So my point is, people be trying to play in my face, and I see it, and they don't like it because I see it. That's what it is.
So, are we going to see, like, I saw in a preview, there was a sit-down conversation that turned to, like, an argument. I think it was an argument in the preview. Are you guys having another sit-down conversation in this upcoming, like, episode? Do we see another one? Or, like, is this, like...
Between...
Say that again?
Between who?
You and Destiny.
Oh, Destiny and I. Oh, okay. So, yeah, Destiny and I have a sit-down conversation. That's solo. Well, not solo, just she and I. And then there's some conversation that happens with us all at a group at something. So.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't want to push too much because this is only the second episode, you guys, so you have to watch. But I think we got to the Destiny, Tisha, and Mel, at least as far as we can get to this point. And then we also saw the conversation that you were having with Kimmy, as far as the picture posting that happened. And I
Mm-hmm.
did see an interview that you had. I forgot which interview it was, but you mentioned that there was a scene that didn't get seen because there was a little backlash that you received as far as like the conversation that you were having with Kimmy about Maurice, if he had cheated in Atlanta, like what's she gonna do if she finds out like he cheated. And you mentioned there was more to the conversation that you two had, but we didn't get the chance to see.
Yeah, I mean, the conversation between Kimmy and I, you know, people are going to nitpick and pick apart the things they want to pick apart and run with what they want to run with based on who they feel like they like, which typically are some people they ain't met yet in life, but that's okay. So what I would say is, I asked Kimmy some of the same kind of questions that I would ask any girlfriend, even if it wasn't being filmed on TV. So, girl, what you gonna do? I mean, if it is true, what you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
What you thinking about? Like, do you
Mm-hmm.
think it's true? Like, what girlfriends, something like that happens? What girlfriends ain't gonna ask they homegirl when they out, like, girl, I'm checking on you. Are you good? What you gonna do if it's true? Like, but you know, it's the same kind of conversation to me Kimmy and I have always had. We've always been very much so straight shooters with each other. If you go back and watch, I've had many conversations with Kimmy where she asks me tough questions. Well, how long? Wait, so you mean it's been multiple times that you've caught him cheating? She's asked me those questions.
Yeah.
And were they pleasurable? No. But I sat there with her and answered them and didn't dare get offended. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me. So I find it interesting that when you have someone else who also doesn't mind asking certain questions, all of a sudden people think it's a problem. I can't please those people. I'm not a people's pleaser. I guess it just is what it is. I ask the questions that I want to know. And if you say something that leads me to think about something else, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say it and ask it. So that's what happened.
Well, there you have it, because they told me to ask you those questions. So there
I know. I love it. I think it's amazing. Let me be real. I think it's great.
Well, also we're meeting you as you're like, because I feel like the last 3 years a lot of the conversation was around the infidelity, you and Martell, co-parenting, and now I feel like this season, at least the last 2 episodes, we're seeing a lot of friendship dynamics conversations happening. So we're seeing a different conversation, and I think that these are healthy conversations to have. And yeah, and hi Stormy is here, and we got
hey, what's up, Storms?
Stormy, we got to meet you today. And tell us about, so Carlos said that he had his eyes on Stormy like for a while, but the timing just didn't work out. And it was just like perfect timing this time around for this upcoming season. But we met her, right? We met Stormy last season, no?
Let me think. Yes, I don't know if it aired or not. Girl, I had a Mimosas with Melody event last year. She was one of my panelists there. No, she was one of the speakers that I interviewed. That's what she was.
Do we see her at the house when you did your video?
Yes, the video. There we go. The video. Thank you. My video. I shot my video there. So you saw her there. Then you saw her at the video premiere party when she went into, thankfully, it was a false labor. Her beautiful chest piece getting here, honey. But yeah. So yes, you guys did meet her last season.
Yeah, so and then we got to see a little bit more about her. So how there was a question about like because she's coming as your friend. What made you want to have her or like have her join this season?
So I think for Stormy, first of all, I think her personality fits great. You know, I think in this group, having strong personalities, straightforward, I think it's important. So I felt like she would fit really well. She has an amazing brand that's doing well that can, you know, this is more exposure to that. And she has an amazing personality and a beautiful family. So, you know, she and I, even before necessarily filming, we were already building our friendship and kicking it. So, you know, it just really flowed right on in.
Yes, absolutely. She's a boss, babe. Definitely got to see, learn more about her business, and I see that you guys have a lot in common as far as like your e-commerce and being able to get into her hair products, skin products. So love to see that. Stormy, a lot of people have questions for you, so whenever you're ready, we can go live and have a conversation. So tonight's episode that we saw, not only did we get to meet Stormy, we got to meet Kiki. I believe it was Kiki, Tisha's friend. And a lot of the questions that I received was, why invite her if you're not cool with Tisha?
So me and Kiki's relationship has never been through Letitia.
So in the confessional, Kimmy said like everybody's talking about Tisha. Was there something that was cut that we didn't get to see? Okay.
Let me be honest. First of all, it was a lot of stuff that y'all didn't get to see, and it was a lot of fun stuff y'all didn't get to see. Like, we literally danced. We had these amazing drinks. We had hot cocoa, went out by the fire pit in my backyard. Like, we had an amazing time. We took pictures all in the little tents that I had throughout the house. You know what I'm saying? Laying in there talking. We had an amazing time. You guys just saw the conversation that was started by the picture that had just, since we all hadn't been together, the picture that was dropped on social media, and that conversation is what's led to the conversation. But it had to be discussed. You know, people, I had already seen Kimmy, but then there were other people who hadn't. So they were like, Kimmy, you look like any girl would be. So what you think about this picture? Like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that conversation that started, it was had. And I mean, after it was over, we went back to having a good time. We had these little games we were doing where you had to have an alter ego pretty much and be somebody else. We had to guess who you were. Like, we had a good time at the pajama party. Y'all just saw the pieces that y'all saw.
Is this, I'm assuming it's going to be like should we continue? We're going to see more the next episode 3, because I think it ended on.
Oh, okay.
Do you get to watch the episode at the same time we do? Or do you
we see when y'all say we don't get it beforehand or nothing. Wouldn't that be nice?
Okay, got you. So you get to see the same reaction and have the same emotion, relive the moments.
Yeah, for sure.
So this season, are we gonna see you and Martell film together?
No.
How have you guys been navigating the co-parenting with everything, especially like the post that he made? Like, he posted, deleted, posted again. Like, how has that been? What is your relationship like now? Maybe that's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. We really don't have one. So when I say that, as a woman, let me go here. As a woman, what I will say is, I, for the first time, understand and can feel for people that I've seen and I've known now that I'm here, what it means to have children with someone who is continuously still trying to mentally and emotionally abuse you. So, like, for example, literally, I'll tell anybody, the Kim and Kanye stuff was triggers for me. Because all that little stuff that was happening was, I'm over here feeling like, but that's what I'm saying. I get it. I get changing your number or not having access to my phone, because you'd be surprised, the text, just the manipulative tactics, the text and the emails and it's like, dang. So me having children with this person meant that if we didn't work out, it had to be all of this. God dang, it's a lot. It's a lot. So no, they can't get me to film nothing with him. When I tell you I'm working so hard to have my peace, that's where it is for me. That is where it is for me. And I have a whole new respect for all the women who were in situations and had kids and walked away, because now I see what that walking away looks like as it pertains to that person who didn't think you would walk away or didn't want you to walk away. Them still trying to have a hold on you mentally and emotionally, like just to do stuff, just to mess your day up just because, even though you ain't bothering them. just to come at you with stupid stuff just because. Nah, I ain't here for it. Then it's a no for me.
I'm so sorry to hear about the emotional taunting that you're going through. That
gotten better. You know why it's gotten a little bit better?
Why?
I had to put those boundaries in place.
Mm.
I say no access. No access. You have to do that.
So how does it work in communication as far as like with the kiddos, like when you have to exchange?
So we get them from school.
Okay.
Yeah, we get them from school.
You spoke about boundaries. That's something I'm noticing in I think not just only this season, but even in the post that you have been making, you've been talking a lot about embracing your emotions and setting boundaries. How has that like helped you in this season of your life?
Oh, it's helped me a lot because let me tell you, girl, people will be trying to do stuff to push you over the edge. Okay. And that's just real talk. People literally, people find victims that they want to prey on and they be trying to push you over the edge. So for me, getting in control of my emotions where I can control myself has been super important for me. Super important for me. Because, at one point you guys saw a very reactive me. A very reactive male. It was nothing for me to go live and come at whomever and lay the facts straight down front. I could do that now. I choose not to because I chose to get into a place where I control my emotions.
Yeah, that's so true. I was watching the interview that you did with DJ Richie, and you did talk about that because he talked about like, oh, I saw a shift in you this year or this couple of months ago, and I do. You talked about not being able to react like you used to. That has helped you just kind of gain your peace.
Yep.
That's amazing. Yeah, a lot of people are saying you better set those boundaries, girl. There's that no access. Yeah, I mean, that's in any way that you can protect your peace, you got to do what you got to do. I'm going through the questions, you guys. I believe I'm asking all of the questions. Please stop yelling at me. So what can we expect this upcoming season? Like, what it feels different.
What y'all can expect? A whirlwind. That's been my word all week for this season. A whirlwind. As for me, I'm really focused on my grind, doing what I've been doing, even when the camera is not here. Okay, focused on me and my children, enjoying life, like enjoying this newfound freedom, like just enjoying myself. And so, of course, when I'm around everybody else, you probably, from me, you're going to see that I'm going to be the person, if we having a conversation and a question comes up, I'm going to ask the question. And if I feel like asking, I'm going to ask. And if there's a question asked that I don't want to answer, I don't answer. I'm just being male all season long.
And you have a book coming up. What can you tell us about that?
So God Said Go, The Wait Is Over. I'm releasing it in May. And it really, I have an entire God Said Go merch line that came about. I wasn't even expecting to do that. However, I was on live being reactive. And somebody was like, you need to get off live, and go pray about it. I said, I did pray about it. And God said, go. So after that, people were like, it's the God Said Go for me. And so I released a merch line like 3 days later, a God Said Go merch line. And so when you talk about God Said Go, that can be in friendships, relationships, business, career, finances, investments. But it's really about the obedience of it and moving forward with whatever that is that God is telling you to go on.
Yeah.
So,
I love how you're using your story not to only obviously relate to other women, but it's like your healing journey that you're doing to meet like the best version of yourself along the way. And something I can admire for sure. So Melody, if I always wanted to ask you this question, because again, it's been just a privilege in a way to watch you go through like this. You opened up your life to us, and it's an unfair way. A lot of us have judged, critiqued, like tapped in to tell you what to do with your life, and you are creating your own peace and your own freedom and joy. and you're creating like the life that you want to have. If you can
Yeah.
go back and talk to the Melody like from 3 years ago, the one we met, what would you say to her, knowing what you know now?
3 years ago, Mel. Let's see. Stay true to you. Stay true to you. Um, and I say that because I wouldn't change. I would not change the different emotions, feelings. Like you guys, and that's the thing I think is interesting. You guys have seen me lay it all out on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Seen me be very transparent.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen me talk about stuff that most people would shy away from and wouldn't dare want to talk about. So I feel like I came into this game being transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Me laugh. You've seen me cry. You've seen me receive and accept apologies. You've seen me accept, push gifts and then push a baby out. Like you literally have seen. I think there's some respect that should come with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the journey that I took with that for me, I wouldn't change because I think everything is what made me the person that I am today.
Yeah.
I had to go through certain things the way I went through them, again, showing those emotions. If that meant throwing some clothes at you at the minute, that meant going off on you at the minute, whatever it was. And then, now I'm love bombed again and I'm feeling like we're in a good space. You guys saw all of that. But I think every piece of that is what made me to be where I am today, to be now super mentally strong, not caring really about what anybody thinks about anything, just being, trusting me.
Yeah.
Again, trusting me, so,
Mm-hmm.
Everything happens for a reason and the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, I asked that question because you have a lot of people that truly admire your journey and are always, I'm sure, reaching out to you. But whenever I reshare any of your posts, I always get a message as well saying like, "Oh, I love her, I admire her, like I have gone through something similar." So
that's how my DMs too. And even at times when people on this show, and I say people because multiple, didn't want me addressing or didn't want me being authentic, wanted me to keep stuff behind the door and not, you know what I'm saying, not talk about it. I was like, no, I'm sorry, but I can't pretend. I'm not about to be fake. It's not, this is what it is. This is what it is right now. So, I think, like I said, for me, I made the decision to lay it all out on the table from the beginning, from day one. And I think that's what people love and respect, because it's one thing when you go on television and you're putting on, it's another thing when you go on television and you're being real. And, that's the way I decided to go about it, despite, the people that didn't want me to be honest and to be open.
Yeah, because the truth is very uncomfortable. A lot of the things that you have shared with the world, a lot of us go through, but we are choosing to deal with it in privacy, right? So that's why it gets very uncomfortable to watch it as a viewer, even to see like your truth being broadcasted. And it can be very hard to digest it because it's just like, oh, this is too close to home, or like it's just too much to watch. But you definitely have put everything on the table, and I think that's why people admire, and you have a huge fan base because of that. One thing I would say is when you gave birth to Sugar Mama, I felt like you gave birth to your new life.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like the ending and the beginning of like two beautiful journeys.
For sure. I love the way you put it, because I often say in my interviews, after I had her, I still remember getting in the shower and I just started to cry. And in that moment, I felt in my spirit, it is finished. And so I knew then, like, whoa. And at that time, there was nothing I knew of that was going on, nothing, but that's what hit my spirit. And I was just in tears. And I knew then if anything transpired that I was going to be out. And so back to trusting yourself, when I walked away, I had no concrete evidence of anything. None. No concrete evidence of anything. but it was along the lines of certain things being said that showed the lack of maturity, the lack of growth. And for me, that was enough. After spiritually being released, getting that moment after having Sugar Mama, it is finished, to still seeing the growth and maturity level and where I needed to be, it was enough for me to pack up my 4 children and set out. My baby was 3 months.
I generally can't imagine. I could not imagine.
Yep, she was 3 months. So, and again, I didn't have any concrete evidence of anything. I hadn't heard anything. It was just the things that weren't lining up, leaving, what you gone for. We in a pandemic. I got a new baby, so I can't really be out because I got a newborn. Like, what are we doing? And then conversations that just weren't adding up. And so from there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna holler, and that's what it's been.
Yeah. Well, you were able to find your new you and adjust to that. There, I got this question a couple of times, which is
okay. What? What you got?
The question is like, 1, are you going to have your own spin-off show? 2, like, are you done with your cast? Like, are you like, have you outgrown your castmates?
So I know, even if I was doing one or not, it's not something I would necessarily be discussing in terms of a spinoff show.
I know.
But all y'all's DMs and all of you guys' encouragement about doing one. And in terms of outgrowing my castmates, I don't think that's for me to judge. I'm just being me. I don't know what you guys feel or what y'all see, but I don't think that's for me to judge.
Oh, can you hear me? I think I'm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, understandable. Love that answer. A lot of people are loving this interview. Yeah, I always want to talk to Melody because I always DM her every time, especially when she's talking about change and embracing emotions, because that's what I love and what I coach about. So it's beautiful to have and connect this conversation with. Someone asked a good question, which is, changing your name, has that affected the sales or of your songs? Because initially the first 2 songs was Melody Hope, right? And then has that like affected?
No, not at all. It has not. So, my new song being dropped under Melody Cherie has been fine. Most people that know me through television and through my social media. So they know it's Melody as Hope. For other songs, they know it's Melody Cherie. I'm working on merging all my songs under my new name. So no, it hasn't affected it.
Okay. Well, you guys.
Think about it. This song went to #1 and no other song did. I think went to like #3. So if anything, it's been positive.
It has.
It's been amazing. I still can't believe. I feel like I literally am operating as a label.
Is that a thing? Like, are we thinking about signing to a label? Like, are we thinking about signing to a label? Because I know you've been doing things independently. Like, how's that gonna work?
My team is having some conversations. We just FaceTimed with a VP a week ago. Am I going to go that route? I'm not sure. I do enjoy being an independent artist. I'm not going to move until God say go for me with anything. So it just depends what I feel in my spirit. I tell people all the time, I turned down $40,000 deals because it didn't feel right. If it don't feel right for me, care what it is. If it don't feel right, if it don't hit, my team already knows when I get on some and I've also learned this, and I'll tell y'all this. I know we're about to wrap it up. Learn to get to a place where you don't feel like you have to give people immediate answers.
Ooh, say that again for the people that didn't hear you, please.
Learn to get to a place to where you don't feel like you have to give people immediate answers. This is something else that I had to teach myself and learn to do. Because sometimes you're asked something and you feel the pressure to give an answer right away. I'm super comfortable now with saying, you already know you're going to have to give me some time to digest this and let me see how my spirit feeling about this. And it works. So my team already knows that, and they know if I come back with it don't feel right, I don't want to do it, They know that that's it. That's what it is. And they know if I'm like, all right, I'm game. I like this. They know I'm going to go full throttle. But I had to teach myself to be like, you know, I'll get back with you.
Does that come with trusting yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I said it's so crazy to me. I feel like God has done everything the way it's needed to be done for me. So that time alone, learning myself, loving myself, learning to trust myself, things being revealed in the isolation, it all happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen.
What, going back to that conversation with the healing process and being able, sorry you guys, and Mel for keep asking you this question, but like when you were in that space in your life where you had to isolate and like, you know, just kind of heal, what did you like, what did accountability look like for you from your own perspective, like for Melody in that healing space?
Oh, let me tell you. Oh, this is what I had to take some accountability for. Man, for being naive. Some of the stuff was my own fault. And I had to face the fact that I looked at people and situations, which is why it was easy for people, which they can't now, and that's what people don't like that either, but it was easy for people to manipulate me a certain way. The term the young people like to use is, you know, you being green.
Yeah.
Because I really looked at things and people and situations out of the purity of my eyes and my heart. And where, you know, how I was raised and how I grew up. And I had to learn, and this is real talk, I have learned the past couple of maybe 2-3 years, especially this past year, that we live in a world. I understand now why the Bible says be in the world, but not of the world. We live in a world that is so cruel, where people are so evil. I call them walking demons, is what I say.
Ooh.
I'm literally starting to understand the world we live in is really evil, and people have some underlying hidden agendas, motives that aren't pure. And I think because when I meet people, I come at them with a pure, like, it's for me, it's always, it's not what I can get from you. It's not any of that. What can I find out about you? It's like, okay, what you want to do something? Let me see how I can help. Oh, let me connect you to this person. Well, you should talk to this person. That's how I go at it with people.
Yeah.
So I had to accept, like, Mel, you have been naive, girl. You know what I'm saying? You have not faced and you haven't faced and looked at things except out of your eyes, and that's where you have been dropping the ball.
Ooh, child.
That was tough for me. That was tough for me. Because then once I started being enlightened, then more things started being revealed to me, and all of those things weren't pretty. It was being revealed to me about myself, other people.
Right.
And it wasn't a pretty picture. And so I had to sit in that. I had to sit in that. And I had to then put together this customized healing path of what the going forward Mel looked like.
Oof.
So when y'all see me kind of like, yeah, I ain't got a fool with that. I ain't talking. I don't want to do that. I ain't inviting nobody. I mean, it just is what it is. But that's that new Mel that had to sit in that and start understanding people. Because you got to think about it. I was married since 22. So my life was my husband, my children. Then I started having babies. So my husband, my children, my business. I didn't really have even time to be around people like that.
Right.
Not all.
Right.
My long-term friends, like, that I've been friends with for 15, 16, 17 years, we don't have issues.
Right.
But that's my small group of people, right? So as I started getting out more and being around other people, I started learning about all these different, you know, people are interesting.
Yep.
People are interesting. And it was, you know, it was hurtful a little bit. It was hurtful a little bit. but I chose to handle things accordingly.
It's so crazy that you say that, because a lot of time when you coming out of your own little bubble, whether that's like coming from your family, your marriage, your friends group, or culture, whatever the case might be, open yourself up to meeting or reintroducing yourself with others. A lot of people in the world, all of us are operating based on our life experiences, the love, hurt, grief, and everything that we have, and we tend to project a lot of that with the people we come across to. So if you're not aware of that, you tend to take on other people's baggage with you and make it your own. So
Right?
yeah.
Real talk.
And when you say you have to sit in that, realizing and accepting, the acceptance part of your healing process, that's the hardest part. That's usually when people run away. They're like, nope, can't face this one because it's too hard.
But you know, the good thing is I had people in my life who were holding me accountable, and they wouldn't let me walk away from it. They held me accountable. So you know, I will say that I thank God that with going through the things I've gone through, then on top of learning people and realizing how people can think and stuff, I thank God that it didn't cause me to turn to drugs. It didn't cause me to turn to alcohol. It didn't cause me to turn to, you know, because people go through things and start, you know, and they turn, you know, their paths are different. They choose different paths. So I thank God, honestly, every day. That's why I tell people I wake up happy every single day. Like, I thank God that I wake up still in my right mind. Still, you know, the only thing I'm addicted to is Coca-Colas, baby. And I'm working on that. I did a live about that yesterday, honey. The only thing I'm addicted to is Coca-Cola, and I'm working on that. So I just thank God, you know, that that He has helped me, and that I had a strong enough mind to know where I needed to look, you know, during this journey, instead of looking to the things that could have not been positive for me.
Yeah, I commend you for being open enough to walk into this healing journey. It's not the easiest. Many people have attempted, and they usually would. There's so many stages to healing journey, and usually the acceptance part is the hardest part, because you have to put the mirror back to your face and see what you have contributed to the trauma and all that good stuff. So I just love that. Love. It just brought like literally tears to my eyes when you were talking about the healing journey, because not a lot of us, I wish we all can experience that.
And we can. We just have to be willing. Like I said, we have to be willing to put that work in.
Yeah, someone said, my grandma's addicted to Coca-Cola. Tell grandma to put the Coca-Cola down. That's so funny. So what else are you working on that we are going to be looking forward to? I know obviously you have like 1,000,001 things happening. So like I even feel silly asking you this question, because I don't think you need to add any more thing to your list.
Oh, well, you know, I am continuously evolving, you know, and continuously moving and shaking. I do have some other things that I am working on. Of course, I also have a production company. So we have about 10 shows right now that we're currently shopping. So I've got that going on. You know, it's just a lot. It's a lot, but God is good. He gives me the strength every day to continue to move and do what I'm doing. 7th Avenue is doing amazing. Of course, I have another song that I'll be dropping as well in my EP album. And so, you know, continuing my music career, I'm auditioning for different acting roles. So yes, I'm doing a lot. I say all the time, I'm knocking down doors that my children will be able to walk through.
I know that's right. Did you dream, envision the life that you're living right now back then?
No. No, not at all. I never expected to be on this journey solo.
Ooh.
So that's different for me. Yeah. Everything that I'm doing right now, I didn't expect to be on this journey solo, but God said no.
Ooh.
Ooh. Well, you know, I keep it real now. You over there acting shocked. You know I was
gonna that just hit me. No, that just hit me, because a lot of times when we're planning and dreaming, like we envision it based on the access that we have with the people, with the resources. But the minute we lose it, a lot of times we lose our dream and our goals because you can't even fathom like to move alone. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you have to reimagine your life and like accept it and walk through it, that's how I was just like, woo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, like we gotta do something together with coaching because like everything you talk about is like what I love to do. This is
okay.
I'm so sorry.
Let me know.
I would definitely hit you up. Like I do a lot of group coaching, one-on-one coaching, consulting, and this is the stuff that brings joy to my heart because we deserve to heal and live our best life because you'll literally have one life to live.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. This has been amazing. I appreciate you sharing your platform and supporting Love and Marriage Huntsville. I know there's more to come for you, more blessings coming your way. Because one thing about it is when you are walking in your divine purpose, God will continue to open more doors and more doors. So, I can tell from this interview that this is your gift. We all have different gifts. I can tell that this is yours. You've done amazing. And, the comfortability has been here. So I appreciate you and looking forward to everything you will produce and manifest as well.
Oh, well, I'm going to put it out to the universe and all the followers. Like one of my goals is to do this healing coaching journey, hopefully with you and your audience. So I'm going to put it out there and hopefully we can make that happen. But I genuinely appreciate you being as open as you always have been because these are the topics that normally we don't talk about. So I appreciate you being open and allowing me to ask you these questions because they can be very invasive.
Absolutely. So y'all make sure y'all go over there and download.
Download down, go order
down
the skincare. I got the whole bundle. I just don't have the bundle with me, but you got the whole bundle here. So don't forget to order.
Yes, all of that. God said go. If you want to get in my masterclass with melody.com, honey. We done had a good conversation. I appreciate it. This was wonderful. Y'all have been wonderful. Thank you guys for all of your questions that you all submitted. And I'm sure this isn't the last time.
No, it's not. I would love to do this with you again, hopefully mid-season. So we have a lot more to talk about. But more than anything, just going through the comments, people are truly inspired by your business ventures because a lot of the questions were around like, what can I order this? Are you doing a home business still?
And then while some sing Bill, they so funny.
Go download her single. You get to hear it that way. Listen, let's support that. Well, thank you so much, Mel. I appreciate you. Have a great night, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Not you.